BRB. I will need to get something. So, 1 minute. Okay, let me know if you can't hear me. Today, Ellie, give me 1 minute and I'll explain the book. Okay, I'm waiting. Desi hopefully will soon be joining, but I'm going to go ahead and start. So tonight, for the Definitely Readers Book Club, we're discussing chapters 10 to 20 with The Silent House by Nell Pattison. I'm KT James, hard of hearing. I'm simcomming, which is signing, speaking simultaneously. One thing to remember, like simcomm, it's using the ASL signs, but that doesn't mean it's actually ASL because it's English word order. So it is different. When Desi from Definitely Novel Life, if she can join, she will be signing only in ASL, and I will be voice interpreting. So, Ellie. Oh, perfect. Thank you. So, Ellie, this little bit of like scary, like thriller, mystery kind of book, it specifically has both deaf characters and is written by a hard of hearing author. 1 minute, Desi just texted me. So she's trying to connect to TikTok. So it's written by a hard of hearing author, late-deafened hard of hearing author who worked in deaf ed for 20 years. It has both deaf and hard of hearing characters, but the main character is actually a BSL, a British Sign Language interpreter. She's not deaf, but she's a coda from a full deaf family. Now, what happens in this book, like so far, we've seen she gets a call to interpret for a family, and that's all she knows. So she arrives, cops are there, and later she finds out that their 18-month-old little girl was killed in her bed. And so she's interpreting for the family. She's trying to get everything, like the evidence, like the clothes for that. She's trying to interpret for the parents, well, the dad and his girlfriend. Okay, Desi is here. 1 minute. Okay, so I'm inviting Desi. So she's trying to interpret. She's joining. Okay. Interpret for the family. And then also, so the mom herself is also deaf, so she will be interpreting for that. So the book is about Paige, who is the BSL interpreter, and how basically trying to figure out who killed the little girl. And then also, hi, welcome. Hi, Eden. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Hi, Hope. Hope said hi. Okay, I'm trying to catch everybody up on the book, like what the basic story is about. Trying to figure out who killed Lexi, which is the little girl in the book, and how maybe how involved Paige becomes is she becomes very involved. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Um, so funny story. Right before I was gonna start, my husband walked in this room, and he's talking. He goes, "Are you reading what you're supposed to be reading for book club in 5 minutes?" I said, "No, I already read it. I'm just skimming to make sure I don't do a spoiler again because when I saw Desi on Saturday, I accidentally spoiled a little bit of the book at our friend's house. Oh, it was just a chill day. And our friends are interpreters, which we can talk about that now before if you want to go ahead. That's fine. I might forget some and I can just add it in. So we went to our friend's house, Emily. I'm sure you've seen her before. She has interpreted for one of our author interviews, and then we tried to do it with AC Toy, and that got postponed. So you've probably seen her before. Yes. So anyway, we went there, and most of our friends are interpreters or they work in the deaf community. Anyway, Carrie said, uh, started talking about. I'm curious about your opinion about this book, um, and we're reading it for definitely readers, and they're like, okay, we're paying attention. What? So we were asking, how do you feel if you are called to a job and have no details and find out that this is a murder case? And they're like, what? No, we always know the details, always. So one of our friends, Emily herself, she's an interpreter coordinator, and she said that every time that they get a call, the request to interpret, they always let them know what is for, who is for, the time that they need to be, where, all of that. And so she was like, that's weird, to have no idea what to do. Like, so Paige in the book has like nothing. Like, she arrives to the house and is like, yes, I'm the interpreter. And they go, okay, get her clothes. For what? Yeah, and just like they're gone. I'm freelance interpreter. It doesn't matter what field you're in. If you're a school interpreter or if you're a freelance interpreter or if you're for an agency, you still know information. Maybe not like full details, but you should have when you arrive that yes, it's for this family. It's for a like with the cops, it's a murder, like investigation, um, where the house, like and Paige knows this deaf family. Um, okay, fine. And she goes, anyway. And then she goes, oh, dang, I know that family. And that's asked her the next question. Okay, so you arrive in a situation and you notice, huh, that person, what do? You know that person. Do you say, I'm going to back out immediately? Because it depends on how well you know that person. If you know them and you have worked with them many times and you see them often, you back out. And Katie, our another friend, said if they interpret for us, she's going to back out for like a special case. Why did Paige not back out? Paige is in the book. Katie is the friend, and Emily is the other friend interpreter. Explain it a little bit more. Eden, did you see Eden's response about her eyes are hurting from the um that's funny. So Eden said it was hard to read and catch up because of life and family and kids. We understand. That's no problem. We may spoil a little bit. But yeah, her eyes are hurting from eye rolling over page over something. My eyes is twitching. Okay, so in the book, like since we're discussing this part, so last week we discussed a little bit. So when I read the book first, I didn't read it with a mindset of interpreter and how it works for interpreting. I was reading more to see how the deaf representation, if it was like accurate or not. And I didn't really think about interpreter like, that's not like I did a little bit of, okay, that's fine. But now when I'm like reading it again, and we noticed, so last week we were discussing, we have a big problem with how the interpreter is represented in this book because it doesn't make any sense to how we know how interpreters work. So when we had the time this weekend and we got to meet our friends who are real life interpreters, we were trying to like match the book to the life. Yeah, it was a really good discussion. And understand, this is a book, this is a story. So in real life interpreters, what do you do? And immediately they were like, we back out. Or we have a team interpreter, or all of this stuff. Oh, interesting, because I agree with some that they said, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. What is not real? So I saw a comment that said, is upsetting because they still haven't gotten a second interpreter. They're still depending on Paige to do all the interpreting. Like, and it's been many days. Like, and at last minute too, like she will be going to the station and they said, I have something to do, and they go, we haven't done this yet, and someone's here. Can you mind interviewing? That's not right. No. Now, there are some times when interpreters find out that day that they need to interpret. It's not often because most interpreters are they're not available. They're already have jobs that day. Like there are some interpreters, I mean, we call the doctors and we let them know you need to get them as soon as possible, like as soon as possible. Like when you ask for an appointment, that is when you start looking for an interpreter. Didn't you have an issue with the doctors recently where they told you that they couldn't get, oh, a funeral? they said that they couldn't get an interpreter because they asked 24 hours before, the day of. Okay, the day of, 2 hours before. And understand, my mother-in-law recently passed away last month, and uh, the funeral was really more of a memorial. So I went to see the body and the family. It was private time and that. And so that time I was there, I went up to the front desk and told them, hey, we needed an interpreter for the next part for the memorial service. It'll be soon, in a few days. I can't remember how many days before I asked. And I asked at that time. And I told them, do you have information? If not, here's some information. And I gave them the information, who to contact, who to choose from, all of this. And she goes, okay, I will let them know. And the days went on. I think it was 4 days before. Okay, sorry, go ahead. And so I asked my father-in-law and I said, hey, have you heard anything if they have an interpreter? And he went and asked, and no response, no update yet. And then the day of, he said, we arrived and there was no interpreter showed up. Oh, and I went and asked, and they found out. They asked the day of. They didn't call nothing, anyone, until like when I asked. And no one is available. And I said, of course not. You asked 2 hours before this event. You need, and no one's available. Now, the part you mentioned in the book, when like Paige went to the station, arrived, and like she was asking about like the threat that was against her, and they said, hey, we have someone, no, maybe this was before, like when they were at the house and Alicia showed up, and they said, we need you to come later. And they asked Paige if she was available, and she said, sure. It's still the same day. Like, that's when you normally have other jobs. And did I tell you that at the funeral home they already had a contract with AIDB? Okay. A Emily, our friend, told us, and she said they could have called us. We would have told them that they're not available. And I looked and they said, we already have a contract with them. Anyway, but yes, that asking, do you mind, that is a taking advantage. Yeah, taking advantage. Um, but to continue with, we kept asking our friends more questions. Like, so, um, do you know like information before? Yes. Normally you get the basic like information detail before you take the job, because some people won't take a job if they're not like comfortable. Like if they're not comfortable with the hospital, they can refuse that job. But if you don't know what you're interpreting for, you can't tell them that you're not like comfortable, and I can't do a hospital job, or I can't do a school job. Like, or a legal court job. Um, and sometimes clients have their preferences, a female interpreter or a male interpreter. So there's a big variety, which in chapter 17, I think, That's where Laura was going to the lawyer. Um, and she said that she preferred having Paige because she knew like who she was, and she was comfortable with her. So that's a example of requesting specific interpreters. Do you back out if you're on if you know a family about a sensitive situation? Yes, you should. Also, on the opposite side, a client can, what is the word? Fire an interpreter. I don't like that one. I don't want them because I've had an experience with that interpreter, and that is very common. That happens often. What I was going to say is that with like Paige knowing the family. Now, at the beginning of the book, it says is the she knows the family, but she's not involved. Later, you find out her sister is the godparent for the the girl Lexi who was killed. She knows the family more than she said. So, uh, um, not a lot of people understand how the deaf community is a really small world. You maybe know of that person and you might have a connection or something and somehow have a connection. And Paige has a connection through her sister. And her sister knows that family really well. And I'm sure that oftentimes her sister is sitting discussing about their story, their drama, or whatever. And the deaf community is really gossipy. There's a lot of drama. Um, but if you are interpreting for that kind of like family, like where you know the family, you're more emotional about things. It's really hard to remain professional and not stoic, but yeah, like you can't get emotionally involved in the interpreting. And we see that later. Like Paige is like asking questions. Jumping over the boundaries. Paige is asking questions like, did you release Alan? Did he, like, what's happening with Alicia and Alan? What are they doing? Like, what have you interviewed them for? And like the detective said, I can't tell you that. Like, that's not for you to know. You need to chill that attitude or we're gonna fire you. Um, hmm. So Heather said that she feels like Paige was hoping for the short notice jobs because she can charge more for it. Yes. Like I'm sure, yes, of course, because she was with agency. I don't remember why she stopped. She wanted to do freelance. Okay. But she never wanted to be an interpreter. She wanted to do something with an artist, a clothing designer, right? Textile. I can't remember, but she had art everywhere in her home. Textile design. Yeah. So she had a threatening message, and I have some theories. It could be Laura's mom. It could be Alan. Max. Oh, did we talk about Max yet? I'm not sure how far they got there at this point. Can we talk about Max? Okay, so Hope said she's fine. Okay, Eden, before we talk about Max, I'm gonna answer Eden's comment. Yes, like maybe she's written to hate her, Bridget, which is the mom of like it's the she's the grandmother of the little girl. She sh oh she she has a really so Laura has a really tough relationship with her mom. She is very controlling. She is trying to do everything for her, interpreting, and I can interpret for her. You don't need an interpreter. I can interpret for her, and all of this. Like the school, what happened with the school made me so angry because Laura kept saying, "What's happening? I need to like I need to know. Like tell me. I'm the mom. Tell me." And she goes, "I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with it." And that kind of thing. Like she's just so, yeah, spoiler, sweetie. Um, she's just awful. She's, and I think she's written to be awful, but the problem is her character and how her character is written can be very accurate, accurate to how a hearing parent controls a deaf child because they think that they can't do anything. They need to make sure that they're doing the interpreting and need to feel important. Um, and Laura just wants to know what's going on because it's her son, and her son is in trouble at school. And her mom is just like, go over there. And she's fighting with the teacher, and you're doing this wrong, and all of this, we will sue, or that kind of attitude. And Laura's just standing there going, I'm right here. This is my son. And the lawyer, like the mom is angry with the lawyer because he said he needs an interpreter, and Laura said you can't sign legal signs. Like I need a person who can tell me what's going on. And she didn't even want, like she didn't want to go back to the courts. Like she was fine with what was happening. Yeah, yeah. Laura uh Laura wants her son in a deaf school, not mainstream. Yes, she wants him in a deaf school, like a deaf school. Yeah, and he is mainstream. I don't think he has a BSL. No, Did you see what it said? Yes, he has an aide who knows BSL, who is she's communication support, and he said he works with a fluent BSL signer. That doesn't mean interpreter. Like that, he's not getting the support he needs in school, and he's not hanging out with deaf kids or anything. So, so Max. So, does everyone know who Max is? Shocker. So Max is Alicia's brother, half brother. But let's back up. So first, Anna and Paige go to the deaf club. And that's not a good idea, but they went ahead anyway. And they're trying to figure things out. And then they're going on and seeing things. Oh. Okay, let's back up. Hold. So they see a man looking at them and they're like, that's weird. Okay. And she go up and chats with him. And he's a man, he has a job, and he loves kids. And she goes, oh, okay. Ooh. And then later, Anna says, come here. What are you doing? Why are you talking to him? He's nice. He's a nice man. I like him. That's Alicia's brother. Oh no! And the police are looking for him. And she goes, and she signs across the way. I gotta go, bye. And then she just walks away. And then the next day, yeah. But before that, she was at museum artist, and she met, I don't know how you say his name, Sign? I don't know how you say it. It's the cop. She met, and they were just talking and everything, and then he left, and so she started to leave, and she saw Alicia with Rick. Who is Rick? He is her ex. And he was seen fighting with Alan the night of the murder. So much drama. Like a red screen, and you're like tabbing it everywhere. Like the lines are drawn of who was connected to who, like to who, and oh, Heather, thank you. So they were very, very lovey and kissy, and she was just like, what? I need to go. I need to leave. And she pulls out, and they're going the same way I'm going. So, let's follow. Just go ahead and follow them. And she's like, oh no. She follows them to a warehouse. And it's dark and scary and creepy. And she walks inside and saw they're all over each other or whatever. And they have a case, and they open it, and she saw him signing, are you ready to have this or something? And she doesn't know what's in there. It could be anything. It could be legal, illegal, it could be drugs, it could be, who knows? She doesn't know anything, but she was just like, okay, I need to leave and get out of here. Oh my gosh. And she's trying to sneak out. And apparently she trips or something. She makes some noise. That I was just like, how did they hear that? Well, Alicia, I think, is hard of hearing. Or Rick. One of them is hard of hearing, I thought. They wear hearing aids, but they both say they are deaf. Okay. Well, deafness is a spectrum. You can hear some specific high noises. I will believe it if she felt it. And she bolts and got in her car, but Rick, it comes out and she's swerving around him. And she goes, I know they saw me. I know they saw me. Yeah, yes, get a clue. They saw you. And then later, after Deaf Club, Alicia was there with Max, and Max was there. They finish to go home, and then Alicia knocks on her door later. Her apartment door. She's here. Yeah. And she confronts her and she goes, "Why were you following me?" And so she's like, I mean, what were you doing? Your car is yellow. So she's trying to figure out, did you kill her? No, I didn't. And she's trying to defend herself. And it's a little bit of a conversation, and she left. And then she said was she loved Alan, but every time that Rick texted her, she can't help but sneak away with him. So Alan is just like, why are you in the house? Also, how did she know you live here? Oh, Anna was just like, yeah. Is not on the website, it's only your phone number. And understand your address, and how does she know where you live? Are they trying to start a fire breakdown? Uh, oh, but it's just her mat, her welcome mat. It didn't get anywhere in the house. Not really. It was in the hallway. It was in the hallway. That's right. Yeah, they pat it down and make it go away before it gets worse. Okay, so who did that? Who is doing this? I don't know. I think Bridget does something, maybe sends the threatening messages. I think Laura was the one in the house. Because she has a key. So, and killed Lexi by accident instead of Casey. So, one thing that we've not really talked about is both girls are the same age and they look alike. And that was why Alicia knew the baby Casey, which is Alicia's daughter, was Alan's, because both of the girls look like Alan. So, because Rick had said maybe the baby is my baby, but Alicia was like, no, like the baby looks like Alan, looks like her sister. So you said that you think maybe Lexi was killed on accident. Okay. Because Alan is not father of the year. He does drugs, he does weed, he is not really take care looking at the kids. He is just doing, Alicia's doing everything, taking care of the kids, and even though her own kid is there, she takes care of three kids, and Alan isn't doing anything. Not really paying attention to what his son needs. He's in trouble at school, all of this stuff. He is verbally abusive, mentally abusive. So I'm thinking Jackson is learning from his dad. His behavior is becoming bad. Well, Jackson signed bitch to Gemma, who is Paige's friend's daughter. And now Yeah, Petra. Now she doesn't go to Deaf Club and hang out now because Jackson and his behavior. He is a bully to many kids at school and everything. So why? Does he see that? Is he copying that? Does he think it's okay? Well, you also have to think he not only sees bullying from his dad, but also he sees his grandmother, Bridget, because she may not be like hitting, but she is mentally bullying her daughter, Laura. Yes, right, right. He's becoming very physical with his mom. He's pulling her and teaching and teachers too. You're right. So now the deaf club has volunteers who watch the kids, but they only have it. Okay, interesting. So the live just popped up and said that it's restricted for some audiences because that contains themes that might not be comfortable. But it says the reason is regulated goods content. 1 minute. I can't see your signs, so 1 minute because I'm reading this. Oh, okay. It says because we were talking about the book which has themes of drug. My bad. Yes, it's only on Tuesdays now. They couldn't find enough volunteers. So if they're taking take care, if the kids club is run by volunteers, so when I worked with kids for the club or for the camp or for summer camp, I had many times that I worked with kids, and oftentimes I would see announcements or counselors not really paying attention. And I'm like, no, you have to really watch these kids. Yeah. You have to watch their behavior. You have to watch what they're doing to other kids. True. Sorry, I'm reading comments. So her brother is half brother. Max is trying to persuade Paige flirt with her. No, um, no, they're not at that part yet. So you just met you just met Max at the deaf club where he's just chatting with her and flirting a little bit, but not persuading her to talk or anything. And then you see Max at the police station where she has to do the interview. That's it. I think after that. Oh, okay, okay. He's not really like persuading her. He told her that he's trying to get Alicia from Alan because Alan is bad news. So, Eden's. So, Mac's interview, she was just like, oh, shit. Interpreting, interpreting. And it finished. And then think it was the same day when she was interpreting for Laura. She finished and she went to interpret, and then she went home and told Anna everything that happened. Anna said, I think you need to be careful talking to people. Maybe Laura is involved. And Anna refused to believe that because that's her best friend. I don't know. I don't know. So I know last week we discussed that Paige was getting more involved in the interpreting. Like, she's not just an interpreter, she's trying to figure it out. But really, she didn't start trying to figure out exactly what happened, like herself, until after she got the threatening message, the first one. And then Anna had said, maybe, I know. So we have a friend, an interpreter friend whose name is Anna, and Anna is her sign name, and I want to use that. It's hard. Yeah. But she was talking to Anna, who said maybe we should try to figure it out, and that is when she started. But so one question we said to our friends, we asked about interpreting. Do you try to figure things out yourself? And they're like, no, I just interpret. Emily basically said, it's not your job to investigate. You're not the cop. Well, you're only an interpreter, and an interpreter's job is to do what? Share information back and forth. Messages back and forth. Okay. So now one thing, I think it was just a little bit like said, like specifically when they're interpreting, like doctor's office, and if you know the client, or if you know what the topic is about, and maybe your consumer forgot to ask a question that you know might be needed later, or might be important information to know, the interpreter will ask the question, or interpret will ask, like interpret, and ask the question and say, hey, like, did you want to know about and they're like, yes, 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 and like get more information for the deaf client, right? um and so if like Paige sees a like in the interview, sees that a question was not asked, or something that might be helpful for them to talk about, like for example, they never like commented about, like, do they have lights when the door opens? Like, that might have been something that they needed to know about if they had. Because if they had like lights come on, like when the door opens, then they should have woken up. So like maybe that kind of question like would be something the interpreter could ask about, because that's in the house that they know that normally they have. Like, you have lights, do you not have one for the door? Like that kind of thing. Well, I'm saying an example. Paige could have asked that kind of interpreter question and not really says, it's not really like involving herself in the investigation. That's just making sure the cops know what they have in their house. But also, are you sure your lights didn't go on? Like, why not? Did you not wake up? Were you drunk? Yeah. I think in her shoes, she was overwhelmed with everything, with the baby who passed, and Anna, her sister, knows the family. Not really. No, I'm explaining. It was more explaining when it's okay for an interpreter to ask a question that's not like over the boundaries, right? But I'm saying like most times an interpreter just, they don't ask additional questions, but sometimes they might need to add for clarification, for information that's important that you need to know. Like they may add, you know, that would be kind of one that you might need to add to the interpretation. Not, let's go drive and follow a car. Really. As Hope says, Anna is being a bad influence and like encouraging her to investigate. Yeah. Well, Anna, her sister, wants to know what happened. She's curious. She's always on page. Tell me, tell me, tell me. No, I can't. I could get fired. I need to keep it to myself. Yeah. Hope. Yeah. Thanks. Did we did we ask any more questions? I can't remember. We asked a lot. And we did ask if you knew information, would you go ahead and take the job? Or if you didn't know information, would you, people would prefer to know the information, and if they know that person well, and then they can decide for themselves to take the job or not. Because really, in real life, many emails have like job descriptions. Requesting interpreter for Alabama, for example, in this state. So an interpreter for this, and you can take, they're available on this, who's available on this time, this day, please contact that. Mm-hmm. And so Emily and Kata said, it's not really what? Realistic. Because an interpreter herself is interpreting and then got involved means the interpreter will become one of the suspects. Yeah. They're two involved. Yeah. One of the things in this book, Paige, this book hasn't really described about her past. Someone she knew 15, 20 years ago, the girl named Caitlin, she died, and she's still traumatized and obsessed over it. So what happened to her? Did she do something with them, or it will be clear later, but it did say on chapter 19, Anna, or 20, Anna was talking about it. Oh, when she said, let it go, it's not like Lexi. It's not going to be like the same way as what happened to Lexi. It's not going to be the same as what happened to Caitlin. So you know Caitlin was murdered. Was murdered. Okay, thought popped up. So Caitlin, is she died in the same house? Heather, can I spoil that part? No. Okay. What if the same person? Okay. Heather says I can't spoil. So you will find out. Okay? I can't tell you. But maybe also kill. Yeah. Do we have a serial killer or is there a connection maybe? Uh, Caitlin, yes. You knew yes, like the last chapter we read, it said she was killed. So you know that part. Heather said, like, she and I both read it in one go, like one sitting because of this reason. We wanted to know. Okay, so deviating, I want to know, but with kids, we've been sick, and I'm still a little sick, so I'm reading, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go to sleep. I was tired, but I'm trying to finish it tonight. Maybe, maybe. Okay, deviating for 1 minute. Um, my family, we're watching his Dark Materials TV show. There's 3 seasons. But we're on the first, and we only watch one episode Mondays and Wednesday nights normally. And Heather, when I say I want to know, I I get so like antsy, and I'm like sitting like I need to keep watching. I need to know what happens next. And my husband said, it's good practice for me to stop in the middle of something and realize I can find out later. Because normally I can't stop the reading of the book. I have to finish it now. I can't stop the watching of the TV show until I crash. Like, so I'm trying to become better. That. Yes, Heather, it's that one. It's on Max. But yes, it's the TV show. So every every season is one book, basically. There's 3 books. It's my husband's read all 3 books recently, and he said it's really close to the book. But he did say, why do they change that part? It doesn't match. Like, of course, TV show, book, different. Yeah, they're always deleting things. It's really well done so far. Like I've really enjoyed it. I just want to watch it all at one time. While we're waiting, um, so the next book, did I post in Discord or not? I forgot. We'll post soon. The next book we're reading is a graphic novel. Moon Cakes. It's short. It's only 7 chapters. Um, but it has I don't know. It's fantasy, and then it's also has LGBTQIA representation, and then one of the main characters is deaf. She has hearing aids. Yeah, not a cochlear. I was, And then they're blue. I think they're blue. So, so we're gonna read that part. First, it shouldn't take a long time. It'll be a short book to read, and then after that, Desi has that one, The Magic Thief and the Whisper Heath. This is a debut author, Effie LaRue. It has a hard of hearing character. A hard of hearing character named Leo. So question for next month. So we're reading Mooncakes for all of the month, or this in July, or both for June. So honestly, I think this one will only take one time, maybe two, to discuss it. It's really short. It's an easy, like, quick read. Most of it is pictures, which is fun. So probably both. We might be in the middle of July when we finish, but maybe we can find another short book. Oh, there's MFK. That is another graphic one. And Effie did say she would be willing to do an interview in July, the last week of July. So that'd be good. Yeah. And Effie has taken ASL 5. So she has taken 1 to 5 and she signs. So I will post in Discord soon. Maybe tonight. Last night I was exhausted, and as soon as I put my kids in bed, I went to my room, and I was scrolling TikTok, and the next thing I know, it was like 2 minutes and I was out. And the only reason I woke up this morning in time is because my son came in the room because my phone was dead. And so my alarm was not on. That was fun. Laro. So it's The Magic Thief and the Whisper Heath. And we can probably finish. Yeah, yeah. We'll probably there's there's that that one. Um, for this one, there's 33 chapters. So we can try to read 13 chapters next week, or so Discord is 21 to 26 and then the rest. So we can discuss both. Hi, Nicole. Thank you for joining and letting us know. Can you tell me which links are not like working? And I'm happy you've joined the Discord. Oh, okay. I will fix that. Um, so the Fable link for the book club, or is it definitelyreaders.com? Huh. Yes, thank you for clarifying. I will go and look because I think I saw an email recently that says something about my domain names. The yeah, a link's not working, she said. Um, okay, I will fix those links for you. So Fable, I did update it, yeah. Okay, we don't. So honestly, we started with Fable because that's what we had seen would be the best like action to do. But honestly, we use Discord more. We can probably, but it is good to keep Fable as a backup. Yeah. Uh, so I did update Fable, so it's available. But I will fix those links. Yes, we are. So it's DEAFinitely readers. Deaf for yeah, what am I wearing? Oh, I need to order that still. Um, but yeah, I will fix the I don't know why the links aren't working. So I will fix them. I think sometimes you need to make sure it's updated. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. Check what I need to check and make sure my link's working too. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. We're so happy you're here. And yeah, so perfect. Heather. Um, so maybe we'll chat in Discord about do we want to push through and finish next week, or do we want to do just till 26 and then finish on June 4th, which then we could do June 11th. 11th. I think for me, maybe finish next week. We'll find out. Yeah, June 11th. June 11th, we can do mooncakes. I will message Discord and do a vote for which do we want to do. Do we want to finish next week with the Silent House, or do we want to separate it into 2 weeks? I will say, reading this book really made me like just a little bit more anxious about I won't hear a person in my house. Like maybe my dog will bark, maybe. But if my husband's not home and my kids aren't home, if my husband is working late, so back then he worked a lot at night and I would be home alone. And sometimes it was hard to sleep because I was looking around. But now we have the dogs, we have 2 dogs, and my kids are here. And we also live in the country, so it is calmer. But still, sometimes I'm like, are you sure no one's coming in? Hello. I don't think that is only for deaf and hard of hearing people. I think it applies to everyone. Make sure nothing is coming in my house. Heather, yes, my dog, Sadie, she will save me. Honestly, most days, probably not, right? I mean, most days when I'm sitting reading or finishing work and my husband walks in the house, he is almost to my office door before Sadie will start barking or will like, and he's like, I could have like killed you by now. So a German Shepherd is Dean, and then a Husky. Which one do you think will save me, Dean? The German Shepherd. Grayson, the Husky, no. And he's so sweet. He's a big sweetie. He's very, very dopey. Yes, yes. Her dog's name is Dean. Dean. After Supernatural. So, any more questions about the book? Who killed her? Who? Who did it? Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Like the book club does focus on books with deaf and hard of hearing characters or written by deaf and hard of hearing authors. Um, this has been a very interesting book in that the deaf character representation is very varied and really good. And the signing representation too. There's a lot in the book. The deaf community is really good. You also see like the struggles you have with language deprivation in the school in this book. So, I mean, the problems we're having with the book are more about the realistic interpretation, like how the interpreter works in the book. When I read it on my own, I didn't think about that now. And now I'm reading it again. I'm like, ah. But yes, I'm excited that you're gonna read with us too. It's really fun. It's a good discussion most times. I recommend that you read. Oh yeah, the we read this Latin February. We didn't read anything last month. This is the Daisy Chain Reaction by AC Toy. That has a good deaf and hard of hearing representation and signing, ASL signing, and the author herself is hard of hearing. I think it's available on Kindle Unlimited too. So, is this one on Kindle too? It should be. It's not, does not have an audiobook. I know the library has this book, which is next month's. And this will be the first time we're doing like a graphic book. So it should be fun. It's really short. I know we did a really short one last year that was 8 chapters. The Signal by Mike Duke. That was creepy and a little bit scary. It was psychologically scary. Um, the magic. It is on Kindle Unlimited too. The Magic Thief and the Whisper Heath. I'm trying to think. If we need to add anything to discuss. Talking about next month, interpreting. I think that's it. So, Nicole, for me, for audiobooks, it really depends. If I've read the book, I can use my like headphones with my hearing aids and it's fine. If I've not read the book already, I get obsessed with which word that I missed. And then the next like thing I know, it's like chapters later and I am just lost. So normally I read a book that I've already read on audiobook, like if I'm cross stitching or something. But I found my headphones have where it goes over my hearing aids, which is really nice. And it doesn't make them noise. Like they doesn't make them go the feedback. Yeah, the feedback. Yes. Speaking of audiobooks, if anyone wants the audio for The Silent House, just a warning. Um, the group has said that it is a little bit weird with the voicing. We found out there are two things. So there are there's two narrators. There is a deaf narrator. So, they're a little bit harder to understand. And then the second one, it is a English, like England book. Like, so there is the accent. So the second narrator has an accent, an English accent. Heather, which is why if I've read the book, like I have 3 series that I really will listen on audiobook because they're my normal ones that I read every year. So I know where I am. So I don't have to like, but I can't do a new one. I tried. I tried like 2 months ago to do a new book on audiobook, and I was just like, what? Okay, what chapter? No, I don't remember that. It didn't work. It was not successful. That was me. Do you have the ghost on? Your ghost. It says I love you. It says a ghost. It says I love you. I really like the color of that shirt. Me too. I need to buy more looser shirts because it is hot here in Alabama. We're just, ugh. It looks like I already bought the Kindle and I was really wanting to buy a physical book for the Magic Thief book. I have Kindle. Yes, she sent us the Kindle on the ARC, but then I bought this book too. Yeah. Okay. Anything else we want to discuss tonight? I I will Discord post about moon cakes and the Magic Thief, the next reads, and then also do a vote for next week finish or 2 weeks. And then I will also fix the links that we have to make sure everything is working properly. I guess I don't want to shut down, like, I don't want to shut down. Oh yeah, Happy Memorial Day is soon, so Happy Memorial Day. Next week, Monday, here. I don't really want, like, if people are talking, I don't want to shut down their conversations. I see the comments, yeah. They're talking. I don't want to. You can keep going. Okay. Oh, hey, so Nicole, we have a book list on definitelyreaders.com, and where it's not a static list, it's changing. So every time that we find one, we add it. If it doesn't have good representation, we remove it off. So we have it separated out by like children's books, middle grade books, young adult books, adult books, and then also we have it separated from adult romance books. Those are two separate. Like for example, Quiet Beautiful Things is a romance book and is separated from Silent House. Quiet Beautiful Things has a really good view of language deprivation with a 4-year-old little girl. And then also the dad is learning a sign. He just found his daughter, and she is she is very severely language deprived. And so, and then also she has a mentor and they fall in love. So it is a really good book, Quiet Beautiful Things. And the author Samantha Christie, she worked with both of us actually, and then a few other deaf sensitivity readers to make sure that her representation was accurate. Dust is a young adult dystopian novel. It was good. It was a little bit interesting. The the character is part deaf. That is the word that she uses. And the other character is deaf. So the character who calls herself partially deaf doesn't sign, doesn't know anything about the deaf community, signing, nothing. The deaf character starts working with her. Heather, Dust is not dystopian. Okay, fine. A little bit. Like, okay, it is similar to like the Dust Bowl. Is that better? It's not the mm, it's not urban fantasy, no. Because that's more, well, maybe. Okay, okay. It's a good book. Um, Historical fiction. Is it is it historical? I thought it was future. Maybe not. Apparently, I didn't read it as deep as I thought. Okay. Anyway, we have a big list of books. We're always adding more. I need to add two more I need to add daisy chain reaction. And then also I got a new book. It's over there. I'm not getting it tonight. Secrets Don't Stay Buried. It's is it J.D. Mills. J.D. Mills. She is a deaf author, and most of her characters are deaf or hard of hearing, and it has sign. So, and this is her debut book too. So it is a new book. It released in April. So Quiet Beautiful Things is specifically about the deaf daughter. But Stone Vows is the first one. And that is the mom of the deaf daughter, and she appears in the book. The books after that have like cameos of Effie in the book. Effie. But understand, this is the very first book. This, the mother, she is pregnant with the deaf baby. Quiet Beautiful Things is the baby when she has grown up. So the next book is about Dallas, one of the brothers in Quiet Beautiful Things, Blake's brother. So I think you see some, but it's not specifically deaf characters. Like, it's not like, hey, we have, you know. Yes, and Hope said it right. Is standalones, so you can read it itself. Like, you don't have to read all the books to understand what happens. Yeah. We did read Perfect Silence. I got very, very, very frustrated with the brother. But if you want to read a cute, light romance that is deaf with hearing relationship, we have The Right Sign. Are we gonna do that one now? It's light. It's not like favorite. It's cute. I like this one. Sign Me Up. Oh, that one was super cute. That is really cute one. It's also on Kindle Unlimited. And Next of Kin, that one. Next of Kin. Oh, that was really cute too. And you see the relationship really grow. So it has both a coda, is the girl, and then her romantic interest is hearing, but he's raising his deaf brother. And they meet because neither can get approval for adopting the kids, like, because she, the girl who's a coda, is trying to take care of her baby her sister. Her mom gave up her rights, kind of thing, but she can't get approval by DHR because she doesn't have enough money and she's single. So they do this like program where if there's two people who are trying at the same time, they can join like together and work together to get the kids with them. So he's trying to get his 15-year-old brother, and then she's trying to get her 2-year-old sister or 1-year-old sister. And so she knows sign, and he is learning sign because he does not know, well, no. He knows sign because of he's been raising his brother since he was like 10. kind of thing. So it's a really cute love story, like how they work together and everything. And it's sweet because I love adoption stories too. So I like the story about growth and how to, and that is light and happy stories like that. That's happy. And that's like Sign Me Up, which is also really cute. And now it's a different one. That's a, yes, a coworker, but also the male is deaf. It's a different one, not the woman. Yeah. And also, I read recently In Our Hands. And it's okay. So the boy is deaf and the girl is hearing, but the girl is dating the deaf man's brother. Oh, uh-huh. And they broke up. And then they were like best friends and they're always hanging out. And then when they broke up, she was heartbroken. And then she is still best friends with the deaf boy. And then 7 years later, from the breakup, they're still struggling with emotional and trauma and everything. And those two are still growing in their relationship. They're growing together. And they become closer because one night they went to the bar, they finished, and they're walking and they're talking, and they got robbed. So the man got hurt, and she is taking care of him. She's nursing him, and she didn't know he knew ASL. Like, she is signing, and so as they're growing together, and it was just really cute. But just a little bit of warning, it's a little bit of trauma. Um, Sorry, I was trying to read and think. Um, The Silence Between Us is pretty good. You've not read it. That one is it is YA. It's Allison Gervais. Um, it's so we the book club we read a game most foul, right? Which had a hard of hearing character. So Allison, she's hard of hearing, if I remember correctly, and she works in the deaf community. Um, but in a game most foul, it is a hard of hearing character who is recently has hearing loss, does not know sign, is not involved in the deaf community. She is getting used to her hearing aids, all of this. The other book she wrote, The Silence Between Us, it is a romance, like young adult romance. It's about a girl who is deaf. She has a cochlear. She's moving and she makes some new friends. And so, well, that's the game I was about. Let me grab that one. So this one. So she meets a boy and he starts to learn sign, but she suspects that he's doing it with like a hidden like agenda, and he wants to know why she doesn't want to get a cochlear, like why she doesn't want to hear. And so it really like emphasizes that being deaf, like she's like, that's my identity, that's who I am. I wear hearing aids, I sign, like I don't want a cochlear. That's not like who I am. And so she's going through like high school trying to like tell him, suppose like it's a romance book and it's cute. It was very emotional for me. I did read this like 5 years ago. I need to read it again with like a mindset of deaf representation. But anyways, that one. And then this was the next of kin. Yeah. That is a hearing author. Anyway. Which one? The Silence Between Us. Yeah. And it says, I see you, you now hear me. And then next of kin is the one I was talking about. It's a cute cover. Okay. But yeah, so that's a short list of recommendations. We do have more on. There are a few that are listed. You'll see that they are like early 2000s. Like if you like look up the book, you might see that it looks older. Most of those we haven't read all of them. So we don't know how accurate the like what the representation really looks like. I'm slowly working through them. But yeah, that just okay. You can go ahead. I'm gonna back out and go, no, yeah. So many books, so little time. Yes, we need more time, please, to read. Okay, well, I am gonna go for tonight. We'll soon be back on. Yes, that. And just let us know. You can also contact us on Discord if you want, and we do reply. We're there. We're chatting. We're always there. Anyways, happy Wednesday, happy reading, and since we probably won't see you this weekend, happy Memorial Day, right? Good night.